is the GNN Japan News. I'm Yamamoto Miki. Today's report we will talk about parents who infamously abusing their own children. There are some parents who punish their child way too far, treating them that they are worse than Hitler, punishing over a minor mistake. And even the most worst part of all, the infamous one that they give their child a punishment day, which is very child abuse, along with people who are involved in it and also helping them out. The punishments they give are very cruel and painful. For an example, they force their child to drink hot sauce, negative cold or a very hot shower, pepper spraying their eyes, belt beatings, getting expired foods and drinks, or even disgusting ones like urine and scans. There are some violence ones like running them over with
the
car, drilling in their ear, getting them
in their ears,
attacked by wild animals, beating them up with weapons, throwing rocks or brick to their head, putting gasoline on them to set on fire, cutting their fingers or any body parts off, which it's very painful that any child can feel. Other ones that can cause death is electrocution, pushing off from buildings or cliffs, eating or drinking stuff that are poison or toxic, stabbing, or even murdering them. Some others are that their parents destroying their rooms, embarrassing them on social medias, causing them having depression, psychological trauma, and having their terrible
psychological trauma
lives they can't handle anymore, and other punishments. The child victims who are abused by parents are Dora Marquez, Little Bill Glover, Caillou, Satoru Ashima, and other more. Child victims, the parents are identified are
newsliners. The parents are identified are
Elena, Cole, and Abuela Marquez, Boris and Doris, Big Bill, Brenda, and Alice Glover, Brianna and Rokashi Ashima, and other more will be identified. Parents will find out soon. The sibling and other family who are involved in their punishments are identified are Rosie, Bobby and April Glover, Diego Marquez and his father. The child victims are also having abuse times at their school. Their teachers, students, and principal are also involved in their punishments too. The teachers are identified are Amber Christina, Ann Martin, Mr. George, and Aisha Marie Clinkscales. The principals are identified are Mr. Cherry, Mrs. Clementine, and Miss Jessica. And the students are also identified are Gina Delgado, who's been snitching on Dora for years, Gab and Kevin. Their last names are unknown. They are Dora's classmates. Caillou's classmates are Leo, Sarah, and Clementine. Little Bill's classmates are Andrew Mulligan, Kika Wong, and Fuchsia Glover. Even though Fuchsia is Little Bill's cousin, and Satari's terrible classmate Sheena, those are the suspects who are giving Dora, Caillou, Little Bill, and Satari the worst life. We will show the video coverage where these child victims were tortured by their parents. But this will be very disturbing and heartbreaking to watch. The video we see where Big Bill puts Little Bill's face in the water with bleach, which caused skin to burn and tearing. Cole pouring honey on Dora and Caillou and covered with honey in the cage, where they were getting stung by the bees. They managed to survive but almost got killed. Caillou was getting maured by his psychopath father. He could have nearly killed him and he would have been charged with murder along with his wife and daughter. Dora was about to get beaten up with spike bats by her family, classmates, teacher, and the principal. I almost forgot that this person who is also involved, who is identified as Mrs. Delgado, Gina Delgado's mother, who's also a suspect. Here's some images that we can't show in raw footage. Here's a raw image of Caillou is about to be crushed by a piano by his father. Little Bill tied up in a punching bag where his parents used him to beat him up. Amber and Mr. Cherry was about to cut Dora's eyes off. Doris puts the blender on Caillou's face by severely injured him. Big Bill pouring Clorox bleach in his son's eyes, causing it to burn. Elena drags Dora to the fan to get her hair torn off. This caused her head severely injured. Dora's pepper spraying Caillou's eyes. Dora and Caillou were about to be burned by their parents by using a blowtorch. Brenda helps Little Bill for her husband to force him to eat a glass ornament, which had caused his mouth severely injured and broken teeth. Gina and Gab drills Dora's ears inside and severely injured her eardrums. Dora and Caillou were about to be hit by the axes by their mothers. Dora was about to be killed by her family by using a firework to launch her into the air, resulting in a firework display of death. Big Bill was about to run over Little Bill with a bulldozer, which this will cause death. Mrs. Delgado hits Dora with a spike block.
Hits Dora with a spike block.
Elena and Cole were about to shave Dora's hair off with the knives and injured her head. Little Bill was tied in a target circle and was about to be shot dead by his family. And Dora was forced by her family along with her cousin and uncle to sip the ant mountain with ants inside. This is a serious condition and worst punishment of all. During an ant bites in her body, the ants will grab her skin with its pincers and release a chemical called formic acid into her skin. And she could have experienced an allergic reaction from the ant bites. Some ants will sting and inject venom into her skin and could cause her death. After they were finished with their punishments and killed, their parents would do something with their bodies. For an example, Caillou's head was used as a headless ewe. Dora's petrified body was used as a statue, which it is not amazing. And Caillou, Dora, and Little Bill were used as a display along with Dora's monkey friend Boots, and that will also be charged with animal cruelty. Now I think that's about enough of that, because this will be a lot more heartbreaking and very disturbing for a lot of viewers. Now we will go live with some interviewers. Now we will go on a scene with Ernest
Catherine
who has the interviewers with him who wants to say at this matter. Ernest?
Catherine, can you hear me?
Thanks, Emmeline.
Thanks, Yamamoto.
So, I'm on the scene where I'm close by the forest. The interviews who will go first, named Robert and Marguerite, the parents of the
Oh, Bobby and Lily,
son,
the parents of
Del Romeo.
and Bobby and Lily.
So Marguerite and Robert Del
Lily, Bob, and
Romeo.
Bobby.
What would you like to say about these parents giving their kids a punishment day?
So, I heard about all this on the GNN America News.
So I heard this all about Yamamoto Miki's GNN Japan News.
Where those kids got in trouble and get themselves a punishment day. I would say that this is absolutely child abuse. The way how they did to them is absolutely unacceptable. I saw a gruesome moment with that girl named Dora Marquez was launched in the air with fireworks when her father, Cole Marquez, put the fireworks inside her mouth and literally exploded. Her face was blown up so bad. Even worse, he and his wife and mother chainsawed her up, seriously injured her so bad. Even she lost her eyes because of that. That was seriously cruel and very child abuse I ever saw in my life. These parents are seriously mentally ill.
Yeah. These people are just sick. I even saw that little boy named Caillou was pushed into the vent fan and got injured so bad by insane mother named Doris. I was so shocked. His sister also threw a pumpkin in his big brother's butt, so how...
Now we have the next hit. That is my parents. The poor little boy is Tecto and Ekiko. Tecto and Ekiko Ishiyama. What would you like to say about these parents giving their kids a punishment day?
As if my answer, we find this very...
But not least, the parents of our former classmate, William Dunbar. James and Mrs. Dunbar. James and Mrs. Dunbar. What would you like to say about these parents giving their kids a punishment day?
I find this stuff very unacceptable.
So that's all the interviews we have here of this area. Back to you, Emma.
Back to you, Yamamoto.
Thank you, Ernest. We still have more interviews.
That's all we have to say. We are leaving now.
Thank you, James and Mrs. Dunbar, for your
time. Lala and Momo for your time.
So that's all the interviews we have here of this area. Back to you, Emmeline.
Back to you, Yamamoto Miki.
Thank
Thanks,
you, Ern.
thank you, Catherine.
We still have more interviews around, but we will head to the next scene with the protests in Caddick Street first. Now we go live with Celine Roche, who's on the protest scene close by Caddick Academy. Celine?
Takao?
Here I am, Ellen.
Here I am, Yamamoto.
Anyway, I'm at the scene close by the academy where we see the protest chanting about child abusers.
Hoping to rescue abused children and parents as soon to the countdown.
The parents are also involved in the anti-child abusers protest, demanding to cancel punishment too, wanting to scold the parents of person, threatening to sue them for child abuse, holding signs about stopping child abuse and others, a lot are outraged, demanding to find the parents for committing child abuse. Teachers and school staff are also involved in the protest too. People are supporting hashtag Stop Child Abuse, hashtag Cancel Punishment too, and nothing more. Surely I think that's about enough I can say about this matter. Back to you, Ellen.
Thanks,
Now back to you, Yamamoto Miki.
Celine.
Thank you, Takao Minori.
As you already see, there were hundreds of protests around town, hoping the parents get arrested and the abused children are saved, and the signs you see they're holding. And now we are also going live at Paris Airport Le Bourget, where the police are heading off to look for the child-abusing suspects with Melody Rousseau. Melody, are you there?
Now we're going live with Lulu Bayashi. Lulu, are you there?
I'm here loud and clear, Emma.
I'm here loud and clear, Yamamoto.
Anyway, here is the airport program. And here goes the last one. We never see that piece about the police finding the child abuser soon. Now that's all I have to say for this matter. Now back to you, Emma.
Now back to Yamamoto Miki.
Thank you, Melody. Now we will show you the
Thank you, Lala Bayashi.
child-abused victims and wanted criminals. Here's the first child-abused victim, Dora Marquez, aged 8. Here are the wanted criminals of the victim, Dora Marquez. Here's the criminal names. Now here's the next child-abused victim, Caillou, aged 4. Here are the wanted criminals of the victim, Caillou. Here's the criminal names. And here's the next child-abused victim, Little Bill Glover Jr., aged 5.
Little Bill Glover Jr., aged 5.
Here are the wanted criminals of the victim, Little Bill Glover Jr. Here's the criminal names. And finally, the last child-abused victim is Satari Ashima, possibly aged 16. And here are the wanted criminals of the victim, Satari Ashima. And finally, here's the criminal names. So those are the child abuse criminals that the police will be looking for in Gossity. If you live in Gossity, this will be send a notification on your phone. If you see these criminals around in Gossity, please call 333-5732-273. Again, the number is 333-5732-273. If you know their address is, notify the police right away. Now we have more interviewers who will say about this matter. Now we go live with Matthias for
Lala Bayashi, who's
the comic shops.
Who's at the cosmic
And
shop
with a few
there
interviewers. Matthias, you there?
Few interviewers. Momo, you there?
Here I am, Emmeline.
Here I am, Yamamoto Miki.
So, I have a few interviewers in line who want to say about this matter. The person who will go first in line is Lin Loud Sr., the father of 11 children. Now, Mr. Loud, what do you...
Were they thinking to do that for their